Hello and welcome to Crossing Bridges. Ladies and gentlemen, my show today is about inspirational coach, a gentleman who has taken a basketball team of a local high school from really a dismay basketball record of losing since 2008 and especially 26 straight league games to present of 14-2 record, 13 straight games, and marvelous performances by players who are averaging more than 20 or 25 and sometimes more points per game. But what's most important about this gentleman that I call a genius or a magician is that he has imposed upon these young people education, high moral standards, value, community service, effective public speaking, and most importantly, to maintain the great GPA that they are averaging about 3.56, 3.6. And that is really great achievement. And I believe, as many other people do, this group of young men have a tremendous chance of becoming the league champion this year. So without any further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce the magician, the coach, and the other two guests that are here today. Coach Alon, it's a pleasure to have you. Alon Marguerite, and his lovely bride, Amy Marguerite, and my dear friend and co-partner in a different category, Mr. Hamid Shir Mohammadi.
Thank you very much for having me.
Pleasure
So nice
to be
to have
here.
you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'd like to start a little bit about your background, Alon. I know you were born in Israel.
Yes, sir.
If you'd be so kind, tell me a little bit about your background while you were in Israel, what city, family, and when you migrated to the United States.
Well, actually, I was the first one in my family born in America.
America, okay.
Yeah, my two brothers were born in Israel. The rest of my family was born in Israel, but they moved here when my brothers were very young, and I was the first one born here. I'm actually a local. I was born in Pasadena.
Okay,
Yeah.
so your parents migrated to the United States.
Yeah.
Okay, and they're still here?
Yes,
Oh,
it's
with God's blessing, thank you.
Yep.
But you still have family back in Israel?
I do.
Excellent.
Only my immediate family moved over
Excellent.
here, and the rest of my extended family is still in Israel.
I know, as I said at the beginning, you really are a magician because I've attended some of the games. I've seen your inspiration, your dynamic, your leadership.
I appreciate
that.
that.
Has affected the performers, or as I call them, because we're all performing in this life.
Right.
As basketball players, kids actually need role models, and you have been an effective role model. Give me some background of your educational and coaching, if you'd be so kind.
Sure. So I went to USC. I graduated with the emphasis in marketing from their business school. And, actually I got into coaching straight out of high school. I was, I went to South Pasadena High School. I was a team captain. We were one of the better teams in South Pasadena history. And, I always knew I was going to be a coach, and my coach at the time kind of knew it too. I was kind of coach on the floor, making adjustments, always communicating with my guys. So it was always kind of my biggest asset as a player is my ability to know the game and think the game and communicate with my guys and show that leadership. So I kind of knew that I wanted to do it, and I got right into it after high school. So even while I was going to college at USC, I was coaching high school basketball over at my alma mater at South Pasadena, which was interesting because I got so into coaching. I was coaching the JV team over there, and we were doing so well. I just got so wrapped up into it. I stopped going to class, and I had to drop for one semester. But I came right back and finished my degree. But that just shows you how passionate I am about the game. So I continued to coach there for 4 years. Then I got a great opportunity to coach at St. John Bosco in Bellflower, which is a real powerhouse school, very renowned. So I had a great experience coaching there. I coached against future professional guys like Klay Thompson. I coached guys that went on to play in the Pac-12. So it was really the highest level of high school basketball, which really developed me as a coach. And I continued to do it, kind of patiently waiting for my opportunity to get my own varsity job, which was my dream. But being in my 20s, I applied some places, I got shot down, and I got a little bit frustrated, so I gave up on it for a little while, and I went into a career as a business analyst for a couple of years. And I was good at that, using my degree from USC. it was okay. But you know, my passion was always coaching, so there was kind of an emptiness. And finally, the opportunity through a connection, I heard that the Blair High School job opened up, and he told me I had a good shot at it if I applied. So you know, I did so, and I got the job, thank God. And you know, I'm very appreciative of the principal, Trudell Skinner, and the athletic director, Merle Pettis, who took a chance on a guy without any head coaching experience. And you know, here I am.
Well, I believe everything is meant for a reason. Having had the pleasure of meeting you before, attending some of the games, and watching how you coach, I can truly see your passion about the game. But hopefully, you don't put all the passion in the game, because the lady seated to your right is a very lovely, beautiful bride of you. You're going to put as much as passion into her as you do in the game, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Okay. Saying about that, Amy, pleasure to have you on.
Thank you for
And
having us.
you're really very fortunate to have a very dynamic husband and also a coach that has achieved so much. How did you two meet, if you be so kind to explain? Because it's a very lovely relationship that you both have.
Oh, thank you. Well, actually, I'm a physical therapist, and he was actually my patient a long time ago.
Tore my shoulder playing
Yes.
basketball. So.
Of course, everything revolved around basketball. But there was kind of like this thing boiling underneath the surface, so I knew that he could no longer be my patient, so I had to discharge his services. But the rehab continued for a long time, I think much more than it needed to be. But he got better. He got back to playing his rec league ball, back to coaching, which was his passion, and the story just kind of unfolded
Well,
after
that's
that.
wonderful. Well, you make wonderful couple, both of you, very young, attractive, and it's
Thank
a
you.
blessing to have you met each other. And of
Absolutely.
course, my dear friend, Mr. Hamad Shir Mohammed, was he your patient too?
No.
But sometimes I still
amazing.
feel I'm a patient of hers.
Well, Hamad, I have had the pleasure of knowing you for many years, and it is a blessing to know you. Not only you're very educated, bright, dynamic, and outgoing, and I've seen your relationship with Coach Alon. Let's expand how you got together and how did you start?
Well, Coach Alon I've known in high school. He was always the popular student, the one that everyone wanted to be like. He was the star athlete. As he mentioned, he really did take that particular high school team that I was going to high school at that time to levels that it had never been to in the past. So he was always the one that everybody wanted to be like. And our relationship continued even after that. And a lot of the times we would get together and watch sporting events. He's a Clipper fan, so he's always endorsed that underdog story. And me being a Laker fan, there was a little rivalry there, and the same passion that you would see him with watching the Clipper games, you see it translated now as his coach. And I'm honored and blessed to have been working with him in some of the other aspects behind the scenes, off the court related matters with the Blair Vikings basketball team.
One of the things that I've noticed, I played some basketball, as I indicated to you before.
Yes.
If you respect the coach and you believe in the coach as a role model, you do almost anything for the coach. And you really inspire that when you are on the court. And I've seen how those young men listen to you, are empowered by you, and they show that with their determination. Because their goals and objective is not only to win, because that's the goals and objective of every team in any sport, but mostly what you have created is a unity, a team. How did you able to do that, if you be so kind? Because that's one of your forte, one of your empowerment that you have.
Yeah, well, you know, I came on, I took the program over, and it was coming off a season where they went 1-23, you know, so there were a lot of issues, and the main issues we saw were on the court, in terms of on the court, were with the culture. You know, kids would get defeated easily, and, you know, sports, basketball, you have to be mentally tough. I mean, the best shooter misses half the time, you know, there's turnovers, there's bad plays, there's a lot of things that go wrong in the court, you know, and there's a certain approach to the game that you have to take to be successful at. And a lot of that has to do with mental toughness. So, you know, the first thing we needed to change was the culture, because kids would give up easily, they would blame each other, they would get frustrated and disappointed with themselves, with their teammates. So, you know, the first thing that we try to emphasize over and over and over again is a culture of togetherness, mental toughness, never giving up, moving on to the next play. You know, and it takes time. There were some deeply ingrained habits that come with a losing team and a losing culture. So, you know, my first year, we took over a few weeks before the season, and you need more than that to put in a system, get the kids fundamentally sound, and change the culture. So last season, I kept emphasizing and it really tested all of us, you know, because we went 7-19. There were a lot of frustrating. We competed. We were in every game, but there were a lot of frustrating losses. Right. And the thing that I had to, being the competitor I am, the losses are hard on me. But the thing I had to do was keep their head up, keep them believing that we're building something. And for all those seniors, I told them they're paving the way for greatness after this season. I promised them that what's happening this year was going to happen.
What is remarkable about any coach is he or she can mix education and athletic together. And you have done a remarkable job, which we're going to talk about Hoops United in just a few minutes. And you have kept these young men to understand that yes, you can become a star, but without education, you cannot really go anywhere. Because education is something that should be part of your life forever, and you have demonstrated that by making sure all of your players are getting good grades, studying and learning.
That's right, that's right. I mean, I talked about the biggest challenge on the court is changing their attitudes and changing the culture, but the real biggest challenge was off the court and with academics. It's a program that was, before I got there, constantly mired by academic ineligibility. You know, most of the key players, half the program, sitting on the bench during games in street clothes because they didn't have the grade requirements to be eligible by CIF requirements, which is a 2.0. And when I got there, you know, we were beginning games in 3 weeks, and I had 3/4 of my program sitting below a 2.0. Some of my best players sitting at a 1.0 or below. So immediately I realized that this challenge was way beyond X's and O's. It was way beyond basketball. So we put together a daily 2-hour study hall program. We got them tutors from Caltech, which we paid for, and we told them that, you know, they could either buy into this striving for academic excellence and take it as seriously as they do basketball or more, or they're not going to make it in our program. We let them know that we're serious about it. And, you know, quickly we saw a turnaround. We got a bunch of guys from a 1.0 to a 2.0 in a matter of a month. And it really made us believe that we could keep building upon this and make it better and better. I mean, if guys could get their grades up that quickly just through the motivation of basketball, we thought, you know, we could keep going with this. So, you know, we did things like put in reward programs. You know, most teams get team shoes, and we get our guys very nice stuff, team shoes, Kobe jackets, Nike stuff. But everything everything they get, they had to earn through academics. Excellent. I mean, we would not give them a thing unless every guy on the team got a 2.5, then a 3.0, and they all bought into this. And I don't think it was all about the gear. I think it's about the accountability and believing in the academic side of it and the importance of it.
Amy, they say behind any successful man or coach is a successful, beautiful woman such as you. Now, I've seen you quite often at all the games. Mm-hmm. What is it that drives you to really support him and be behind him?
Oh my gosh, I am such a sport girl already, so it's just not that difficult, but just being able to support him and his passion is just the ultimate driving force. He is so passionate about basketball. He's so passionate about these kids. These kids have become our kids.
Absolutely.
Because we're newlyweds, so that just went hand in hand. So we just definitely treat them like our family. But you were talking about challenges too, and it wasn't just like on the court, but personal challenges too, because his father died during the preseason
I'm sorry to
last
hear that.
year.
My deepest sympathy.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, that was a tough thing, but knowing him, that wasn't going to hold him back. I remember his dad was in the hospital, and he just bounced right back, and his dad encouraged him to do so because that was his dad's passion, was just to see Alon succeed on the court, because he knew that's what Alon strived to be.
Well, I'm sure his father is here all the time, and he's with you, Alon, because knowing where you come from, I'm sure he's in your heart, soul and mind, and he's on the court every time. Hamed, I've seen you as a cheerleader. You lead the opening of the game with hooplas and announcement, and of course, you both are now our dear friends now. What drives you to be actually on coach's side?
Well, it kind of comes from the top down. When I see the passion that's exhibited by Alon, and that translates also through Amy, taking these kids from game to game over the summer, the travel ball team that they did, she would drive as far as Las Vegas, Nevada, other tournaments, and with such passion. And I saw that a big part of Alon and Amy's life had become these kids, from watching a movie together to going to Clipper games to team events, Halloween dinners, Christmas dinners. And I saw that this culture of winning was being implemented. It was a no-brainer for me to want to be part of this wave, this what we call, and this is the mantra of the season, the uprising. Blair, as you know, Mr. Nat, since you're so involved in San Gabriel Valley sports and education, Blair has always been a dormant school, especially when it comes to its sports and athletics program. And it's not just the basketball that Alon has affected. I'm more behind the scenes during the games. There's a concession stand that we have, and then the volunteering efforts of the students and the parents, and how these kids, there are certain students that have on their own time built signs for the players on the court, and the passion that they cheer for this school. It's almost as though Alon has positioned himself to be the face of this school, and implementing a winning culture. It's translating not just for the basketball players, but also for the other students. They walk with a little pep in their step now.
Right. Amy, you had the greatness about you by giving me a shirt. And you had beautiful pictures on the shirt. Did you knit those pictures?
No, I wish I could take credit for that, but no, we decided like for the games, like as an incentive, just to fill the stands, which hasn't been that way for years, was just to do like free giveaways, just like they do at the Staples Center for the Clippers, the Lakers, like to the first 100 guests, fans that want to come and support Blair. Just kind of something as a team morale, just like a school morale. The hashtag Blair Uprising.
Well, I'm sure you're going to have a lot of people coming to see the games, and once this show goes on air, a lot of people will come out, and
that would be great.
The papers are writing wonderful articles about you, Coach Alon, which is really wonderful now, because the headline is about Blair, and that's what most sports section want to focus on. And as I indicated, what I have seen, you really have with God's blessing, a very good direction and future for your team, and the league champion is in sight, so there's no doubt about that. So just keep it up. Let's talk about Hoops United. That's very important. Now, what you have done again, besides being so remarkable and working together for the basketball team of Blair, is that what you have created a nonprofit called Hoops United. United. And through that, you have achieved remarkable things. I want all of you really take part in this. Having read the bio, what you do in addition to education, motivation, high morale, making kids feel confident, getting their parents involved, having them forget about whether they come from rich family, poor family, that there's opportunity if they focus, study, and they will achieve their goals and objectives. There's a young man by the name of, I'm not going to say the name, but this young man has a family of 15. And I believe he could not even take the bus to come to school because his father was so poor, couldn't give him $1. But once you got through Hoops United involved with him, you have transformed his life completely. Let me start with Mohammed. Tell me a little about that young man, and then we'll go around.
Well, I mean, that young man I know through Hoops United and through Alon coaching him. And I remember sitting with Alon and Amy during the summer, and that young man has such a remarkable soul, and he's so high-spirited. And I remember Alon and Amy had tutors around the clock for that young man. I believe he had, and Alon will speak more to the details of his circumstances, but I believe he had somewhere within the vicinity of 24 units he needed to clear within a time span of several months just to even play in his final year. So if it was not for the efforts of Alon and Amy, and that young man, coincidentally enough, this year, I believe, is one of the top scorers in the San Gabriel Valley District.
Yes, he is.
And the top GPA on the team.
Not only 3.56, and all good three-point shooter.
That's right. That's right.
I know Mr. Nat is always saying that young man has the size to go inside of the paint. Why is he always shooting? But he has a
Yeah, that's one thing I was going to really mention to you, if I may put my 2 cents in.
Yeah.
It's very imperative to establish the paint
That's right.
inside.
That's right.
And drive to the bucket, get
That's
as
right.
many fouls on the opposition as
Yeah.
possible. Because if, with God forbid, the three-point shooting is cool, cold, then you gotta fall on
You live by
inside.
the three, you die by the
That's
There
right.
it
That's
is,
really
there
true.
it is.
But actually, and that's the key, because I watched your last game against Monrovia. They were behind, but thank God they came back,
Yep.
because the second half of the game, you probably must have given him some hot chocolate to give him warm up again and start shooting the lights
Yeah.
out. But I'm sure, just saying that with respect to you. How did you come about Hoops United alone?
Well, you know, it was triggered by, you know, the story I told you about Blair and, you know, the incredible improvement we saw in the kids' grades, morale, spirit, self-confidence. And, you know, that was all inspired by the guidance and through basketball. These kids have a real passion for the game, you know, so everything we were doing was hand in hand with basketball as that motivation for them. So, you know, our motto with Hoops United is elevating today's youth through basketball, and we truly believe in that. You know, we've seen an incredible turnaround in these kids' grades, you know, spirit, confidence, and we wanted to expand upon that and reach as many kids as possible with that vision. So, you know, just to conclude that story about the young man that we were speaking about, you know, he's kind of the face of what we do with Hoops United. I mean, he's a guy who just lacked that kind of guidance and structure and support system. And, you know, he never had he loves the game of basketball. He's passionate about it, but he never had a GPA above a 1.0. So needless to say, he never played a high school game. You know, he never had that opportunity. And he was so far behind in his credits that he was kind of destined to be sent to an accelerated credit program to finish his high school career and would never have an opportunity to play basketball. So, you know, we as a company got together with that accelerated credit school, and, you know, we kind of told his story and said, you know, it is this young man's dream to be able to play his senior year, you know, and eventually go on and play in college. Extremely talented young man, and we want to see him get this opportunity. So we got together with them, and we came up with a program where, like Hamid was saying, he knocked out a whole year's worth of credits in one summer, and we went and picked him up at 6:30 in the morning, and he came to our house, and he studied with tutors for 4 or 5 hours. He went to practice, and he came back, and he studied more. You know, it wore him out. He was absolutely exhausted by the end of the summer, but, you know, he got it done. And now, like Hamid said, he's one of the leading scorers in the whole area. He's the best player on our team. And it's an incredible turnaround story. And we've seen this with all our kids. You know, all the members of our organization, Hoops United, have improved their GPA from an average of 1.5 to 3.2.
That's wonderful.
And they've turned their lives around. So, you know, what we do is provide kids who don't necessarily have the means and structure and support system opportunity to get their grades up, to pursue their passion of basketball. We provide a practice facility. We provide elite skills coaching, strength and conditioning, top of the line athletic equipment like the Vertimax, like Noah's shooting system, which is a cutting edge shooting system that gives feedback on the arc and distance of a shot. We provide a travel ball team, which most travel ball teams charge, you know, up to thousands of dollars to play on, and we provide it free of charge. We provide them the best gear. We provide them transportation services to home, back. We're driving all day, all around Pasadena, picking these kids up. You know, we take them to movies, we take them to Clipper games. We're like family to them, and, you know, it's unbelievable the turnaround we've seen. So
Well, the result really shows what you have done. Hamid, I know you're involved much also in Hoops United. Before Coach Alon became so successful with his team, you also brought some NBA players to teach and work with these kids, didn't you?
not NBA players, NBA trainers.
NBA trainers,
Yeah,
right?
Alon actually, because he has a plethora of resources when it comes to basketball, and as he was mentioning, the cutting edge technology that he's putting over there for our members.
Right.
And they are taking advantage of it one of the times, because during the games, as you have seen inside of our arena, it wasn't always as decorated as it is, today.
Right.
Through Hoops United, and we believe that Blair is just a case study. We believe that the very same formula that Alon and Amy have been able to implement with Blair High School can be translated, and the same outcome can become apparent with other schools, with other members. And so Alon, with the resources that he has trainers working with some of our members, and those trainers have worked with NBA players. Alon can speak more to.
Okay. We only have a couple of minutes left. I
Sure.
want to really focus on Hoops United because
Yeah.
it's a nonprofit, and it's marvelous, again, what you have done. And you're keying not only, again, on education, but making young men and hopefully women to become inspired to achieve their goals and objectives with their first objective, education. How do people go online or contact you if they want to contribute, if they want to get involved in Hoops United?
They could visit our website at hoopsunitedbasketball.com.
Okay. hoopsunited.com.
Hoopsunitedbasketball.com.
My apology.
Yes.
hoopsunitedbasketball.com.
That's right. And then there's also our travel ball team, Pass Elite, and they could visit that website as well as at passelite.com. That's PASelite.com.
Okay, well, let's say that again. hoopsunitedbasketball.com. That's easier for people.
That's right.
And from there, they can get in touch with you.
That's right.
And they can take part. Now,
Absolutely.
we only have about a minute to go, Amy. Being a bride, almost a mother, basically, a counselor for these kids, how do you handle the whole thing?
Very delicately. No, it's been such an honor, and I really enjoy this entire process of getting to know all of these great young men, working alongside my husband and Hamid. It's just, and the whole Hoops United team, it's just been remarkable. Like the trainers that we have, the one that comes all the way from San Diego, and Reggie Wallace, that's
Excellent. Oh my God.
basically the trainer to the Stars here in Pasadena. It's
The
just
best
been
out there, yeah.
Excellent.
it's just been a great thing, and we're learning so much from everybody.
Excellent.
It
I'm
takes
really-
a community.
Absolutely.
It really does.
Alon, Amy, Hamid, thank you so much for coming on the show. It's a pleasure.
And for the viewers, just to remind them, Friday and Wednesday is some very pivotal games. If they see this tomorrow, please attend the games on Friday.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Friday, January 22nd
Thank
at
you.
7 p.m. and Wednesday, January 27th at 7 p.m. at
Thank
Blair
you.
High School.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Ladies
you.
and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in, and have a wonderful afternoon.